Mr. Commissioner, what will be the key details of what you're publishing next week? Will it clarify what is already in the public space?
Yes, the clarification would best come by the interactions we'll have with the stakeholders, like the one we're having now. The publication would also be supplemented by a simple English one-page informative advertisement, which will be coming out tomorrow and on Monday. Now, the full details of the circular is a document, a technical document made available to the operators. It may confuse the consumers some more, it may not. That is why we are releasing a shorter version tomorrow. It will be in the print media tomorrow, and we'll also make it available in all electronic medias and otherwise. So the details of the policy itself is self-explanatory. We have received remarks and comments from the stakeholders, associations, some even are related. But the most interesting ones that have concerned us is people who have no idea of what was discussed between the insurance companies and the regulators, people who have no idea or who have refused to attend such sessions, making some fantastic and eye-catching headline remarks. Now, the stakeholder, as far as we are concerned, is the essence of regulation, to protect the policyholder, to protect the economy, and to ensure that every operator operates within the bracket of the rules and regulations available to operate. So we would, as much as possible, continue to explain to stakeholders that the concern and the fear being printed around on deadline for capitalization, it's not existing. It's just a non-existent argument. We have not asked any company, for the purpose of emphasis, let me repeat again, we have not asked any company to add capital to their operations. Companies are still operating on the capital of 2007. And you would agree with me that the capital of 2007 cannot be valid 11 years hence. And what we have done is just to ensure that companies operate within their financial capability.
I'm sure you've done what you call the risk analysis, or what you call the stress test of the insurance sector, just as your colleagues at the central bank would periodically do with the banking sector. What does that reveal before you come up with this reclassification or re-stratification of insurance business in Nigeria?
Actually, it is that test that determines the timing of this policy. It is not fair to assume that the insurance industry is weak. Insurance industry composed of many players. There are big players, medium players, and small players. And if every player would play within his bracket of ability, the better for it. Because you can't imagine an insurer who has the capital to insure small assets, leading on oil and energy insurance, or on aviation insurance, which is capital intensive, which some insured is very high and is mostly denoted in hard currency. So that is the simple reason for the exercise. We did the exercise, we did the tests, and we found that it will not be fair on the consumer to allow all companies to give the impression that they're all in the same category of operation. And like the classes of risks, they're different, they're small, they're medium, they're big. So should be the players. And we don't see any reason why that should be of a concern to operators or consumers. In many of the international jurisdictions, you find insurance operators that operate one or two classes of business and specialize in them, operate one or two local governments or states and operate and specialize in them, and there's no problem. So I can't see why you will assume every operator will have to have the same outreach and the same level when they don't have the same financial strength. If you take the example of the sector you've made reference to, the banking sector. Banking sector have microfinances, they have regional licenses, they have national licenses. So would the insurance companies operate?
Some of our viewers are sending in a few questions, and one of these relates to the state of International Energy Insurance PLC. Do you have an update on that, please?
Yes, that is one of the companies under regulatory watch at the moment. Actually, we have intervened and have replaced the management with an interim management board who are undertaking a forensic study of the company to come out with ways we can salvage it. We believe it is a company that can be salvaged, and the committee, the board, actually the interim board, has gone a long way into performing the duties we gave them. We expect them to submit a final report anytime now on which we can give approvals for the way forward.
It's been 3 years since this international energy insurance company has been taken over. Has much progress been made?
Yes, it has been made. Like I said, we have been able to undertake a very deep analysis of the trivials of the company. And the interim board, which is composed of very capable Nigerians, are about completing the exercise now. And we believe before the end of the year, we'll come up with a roadmap to rescuing the company, and we believe it can be rescued. The current investors in the company are willing to participate in turning around the company, and the interim management board is also discussing with other foreign investors and local investors who wish to get involved in the affairs of the company.
Mr. Commissioner, let's return to the recapitalization process. What has the compliance process so far revealed about this new policy that's on the street as we speak?
Well, in a system with so many operators, you find wide ranges of response. But gladly, I would like to say that some companies have taken it on their stride. We have companies who have already applied to segregate their business. Companies who used to have a composite license, that is to do life and non-life, have decided to separate the two operations, which is the whole idea of the policy, to allow companies to concentrate where they think they can play better. Companies have already decided to capitalize one aspect of the business, and some companies have already decided to select the particular tier they want to operate, which may require some processes of recategorization from where they are today. But the input of the policy is so detailed that we had already advised all companies of their position, which is our opinion. And we have asked them to call emergency board meeting to discuss and agree with the opinion of the regulator vis-a-vis their solvency capital. And when they do, we expect them to get back to us by the 14th of September on where they want to operate and what they want to do. And we have also extended palliatives to ask them to, okay, if you want to increase your tier base to another category, what are your plans? When do you want to achieve that? So that we can give you approval to go ahead and commence. But it is up to the board, first of all, to pass a resolution deciding what tier operation they will run. And as you understand, the concept is all based on the risk-based supervision, which is an approach that empowers and give more responsibility to the board to supervise financially and otherwise the activities of the company. And we regulators concentrate on regulation. And the board of directors are all meeting as I'm talking to you now. We expect feedback from all boards by the 14th of September. But in the exuberance of some of the operators, they have already indicated to us what they want to do. So we have advised them to go back and have the board meeting and come back with a board resolution as to what the decision of the board and shareholders is.
Mr. Commissioner, you're also using the same time you have a new risk management policy in the industry to say you've reopened the door or the window for a new licensing round for those who want to get into the insurance sector. Why is that?
Yes, if you look at the history of development of the insurance sector or all the financial sector, the regulators make policy as they feel deemed to develop the industry and to guide the industry appropriately. When the NAICOM introduced the last capitalization 2005 to 2007 policy, it decided also as a policy, as a support for the industry, to develop the industry, it suspended the registration of new companies. And all the applications and the approach we had from local and foreign investors to be licensed was refused. We advised them to deal with the local operators to develop the existing operators, and quite a few international players took up interest in existing companies. Now, with this categorization, we would, from time to time, identify which of the categories need additional capacity, and then call out for licensing or for applications in the same category. With the release of that categorization and the analysis we did on the industry, we believe there is more operational space in Tier 1. That is why we have advertised that anybody now who wishes to invest, and we have got some inquiries from foreign investors who are still willing to come in and invest into the existing companies and more possibly to acquire new licenses. We believe that will deepen the capacity and that will increase the retention we'll have locally.